Hello friends, we talk today in my channel recap stories. At the beginning of the story, we see a 14-year-old boy, Roger, returning home after spending the summer. Her mother has sent a maid, Thebita, to pick her up. Roger turns to Thebita, but she remains silent, understanding his thoughts. They both reach home where all of Roger's family members welcome him. Going forward in the story, we learn that Roger also has a sister named Bertha. Bertha takes Roger for a walk in the forest, where the two meet Taita again. The beta suddenly feels the need and starts watering the plants in front of Roger, leaving Roger in awe. After a while, when Roger is walking alone in the forest, suddenly slips and falls into a bush, and he hears a girl's laugh. He sees that another employee, Pryla, is there and smiles at him as Roger. Terrified, Roger runs away. At night, Roger goes to sleep in his room after having dinner with his family. Outside the room, he hears something rattling, and goes out and sees another employee, Helen, there. Roger somehow controls his emotions and comes back to his room and falls asleep. The next morning, Bertha takes Roger to the edge of a lake where the rest of the housekeepers are bathing and sharing their secrets. They both secretly look at these employees. After some time, the house staff also come there and the employees engage in a conversation with them. Roger is shocked to see all this. The next day, Roger's older sister Alyssa comes home with her father. Everyone welcomes her, but Alyssa just says hi to Roger and goes inside. Bertha takes him to the church to distract him, where he sits on the terrace and listens to his aunt. Margaret is expressing her thoughts to the father of the church. Roger is happy to hear Margaret's thoughts and thinks that someone is thinking about it too. But suddenly he falls off the roof, revealing his secret. Margaret tells the father the whole thing and Roger's mother also comes to know about it. His mother gets angry and asks the employee to get a broomstick and tells Margaret to give Roger 10 broom whips as punishment. Meanwhile, Alyssa's fiancé Roland arrives there and he starts laughing at seeing Roger in this condition, and now Roger's backyard becomes red after eating cracks, so he starts sleeping on his stomach at night, but then he hears the sound of utensils again, so he goes out to see. And this time also he sees that someone is playing Helen from behind, but we do not know who he is. Mr. India Akir, and this time along with Roger, Frank was also enjoying this view. So Roger starts going to Frank's room to find out about it, where Frank puts his hand in his pants and stars the moon from the telescope. After seeing Roger in his room, Frank goes to the square and leaves his room. After his departure, Roger also starts seeing the moon stars from the telescope and he understands that Frank is even more afraid. Then he finds a book of stories on the table, which he takes. He goes from there. When he is going towards his room, he hears some noise outside his parents' room, so he tries to peep in from the keyhole, but then Roland catches him peeping. Then Roger requests him that please do not tell my parents anything about him. In the next scene, we see Roger talking to his sister Alyssa and Roland. When Roland tells Roger, "Look how dirty my shoes have become, clean them thoroughly," but Roger refuses to do so, then Roland gets angry and tells Roger's mother about it. Roger's mother gets angry when she hears that last night. Roger's mother gets angry and asks Roger to go out of the house. Then Roger sees the opportunity and exchanges the book with his sister Alyssa's book. Then he hides outside and sees Alyssa reading that book and Alyssa also reads this book. Ladus start bursting in his mind. On the other hand, Roger's Armin also wakes up. That is why he goes to Peace, who is doing his work in the kitchen. Then Roger catches the piece from behind. Then the piece breaks a plate on his head in fear, due to which Roger sees the stars in the day. Then in Peace sees that this is his Roger. She agrees to be intimate with Roger, but then the other maid comes there, so Roger has to run away from there. Then we see that a postman comes there and shouts that war has started, war has started. They gather there and the next day all the men in the village had to go to fight. So Roger's family starts partying at night, and when Roger comes to know about it, that all the men of his house are going to go to war and all the women of the house will be alone, then he starts to be very happy inside. Then the next morning all the men leave for war, So Roger first and Peace is trapped in his trap, and Ursula already liked Roger, so she gave Roger the green signal. Then the next day we see Roger's mad cat who is sitting on the bank of a river. Then suddenly Roger also comes out of the river and traps Kate in his words and starts getting intimate with her on the bank of the river, and now Roger's courage had increased. He plans to get intimate with all the girls in his house. Then at night we see Roger's Aunt Margaret going to her room to sleep, but she sees that Eriger is already sitting in her room. Then Roger says that I know you are virgin, so I have come to help you, and first Margaret forbids. But after some time, she cannot stop herself and both of them start getting intimate there. After that we see Helen who comes to this door with tea breakfast, but this time Mr. India was missing because he also went to fight the war, so due to no other option, she would go straight to Roger's room. Now Roger also fulfills his wish and starts getting intimate with him. Then the next day when Burr was and Roger is sitting in the bag. Then Roger's eyes fall on his elder sister Alyssa, so he immediately goes to her and he traps Alyssa in his trap, but Elsa refuses to do all this at first, but due to reading Ashley's stories, she also cannot stop herself and they both start getting intimate there. After that we see that all the girls line up and go to Roger's room and go out after enjoying themselves. Then one day after enjoying in the open, Alyssa tells Roger that I have become pregnant. In fact, the war was over and all the men were back. Then Roger was thinking how to get out of it, that then in Peace comes to him and says that I have also become pregnant. Then after some time he also tells his mother that I have also become pregnant. He goes to Alyssa and tells her that you please Sado's Roland and become intermediate with her tonight. Then Roger goes to his aunt and says that you please marry Frank because they want you very much and will take great care of you. Then Margaret also agrees. After this, he and Peace also convinced to marry a servant. Then the next day the three girls get married together and no one even knows what Roger has fed. Then after a few days Roger's summer vacation ends and he is getting ready to go back to his boarding school. Helen comes there and tells her that I am also pregnant, to which Roger says that you do not take tension, I will arrange a groom for you too, to which Helen says that there is no need for it, I will choose any one man here. Then the next morning Roger leaves for his boarding school and with him this movie. It ends here. You will definitely tell the story by commenting below. I request you to complete 10,000 subscribers on my channel soon. We hope you all like this video and you like it. Please subscribe to our channel. Many thanks for your loving comments in the next video.